Okay, so I went a little bit off camera. Phone was dead, but got the holes for the footholds cut out. Foam's cut back. Tubes are notched. They fit pretty well. I think I'm gonna lay some mat around the back side of them. While the epoxy is still wet, I'm gonna lay them in place, pop rivet them down, and then once they're dry, I will glass over them. But working on this right now, trying to get the motor bed plate all lined up. I had to mill down the back of this a little bit here, but all in all, it's looking like it's gonna fit. So let me get that all lined up and then I'll show you guys where we're at so far. All right, so I ended up playing with the coupler a little more. Took a little more material off of the back side, but we have all the motor mounts bolts at least are in. Motor's pretty lined up. I had to shim the bed plate, but as far as coupler clearance, I think we're pretty good here. So now we're gonna have to figure out an e-box, something to get going here. But yeah, everything seems to be ready to go. The glass is in, drill some holes, build an e-box, see where this goes. Just checking in, a little update with the 900 swap 750. Started putting the footholds in, starting on the glass work now. Got some precautionary resin drying on the right foothold back there. Just trying to get a little material to fit it in a little better. But the block is in place, nice and sturdy. Our coupler alignment is on point, boys. We're you know, sitting right there, nice and tight, ready to go. Waiting on the head pipe before I start cutting stuff on the exhaust. I was gonna put a water box back in that corner, but in this case, I think I'm actually gonna use the U that came off of the donor ski and loop around right here, and then that way I can stuff a water box up in the nose. I have one that Tim Bushman made back in the day that kind of bolts up to the bottom of a pole mount. It's more of a resonator, so I might have to run like an aqua muff or something like that after. But yeah, I got a little bit more glass work to do in the hole. I'm gonna patch this hole right there, fill that in, and then I had a little crack down the bottom line here. I'm gonna patch that up in and the outside. And yeah, I think I'm gonna use like a twist shifter off of a mountain bike instead of like the traditional brake lever for my trim. And that way I can set the trim, you know, it doesn't go down that far with the ride plate. It goes about right there, but that way I can have a negative trim and then, you know, twist it all the way up and have a positive trim that I can still turn with. And then each individual click would be a different trim setting and it would lock into place like say trim on a boat or something like that. But yeah, once I get the footholds glassed in, I'm gonna fill the tubes with expanding foam, let it come out, glass the back flush. I was gonna get a jet trim mat kit until I put the footholds in. Now I'm just gonna turf it because, you know. But yeah, oops. I cut a hole in the jet plate to steer or clear the trim linkage. I need to get the jugs matched to the pistons that I have, And then after that, we're gonna be pulling all this apart, laying down some nice paint in the engine bay, do the hole, bottom of the hole, get it all turfed up. Might build an aftermarket bar like my 550 or pole, sorry. And we'll see where it goes. Oh, and I had two little kind of smash crack holes in the hood, so I'm starting to do the first couple layers of fiberglass on there and sand them down. I had one right there and one up top, but yeah, we're gonna get the hole reworked, everything working right, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Should be a fun little ski to have on the trailer. So yeah. And I know a lot of you also see the toys in the background, so do a quick little walkthrough. This is just a pretty stock 85 550 that I decided to just kind of restore and make it into a pretty clean ski. It's got a couple little aftermarket goodies. It's got a carb water box. It's a 550 piston port, 440 pump, ride plate, intake grate, quick steer. It's all powder coated. Decided to spend some time at work on my own stuff, but yeah. And then we have an 01 RM 250, fully built. Kind of my trail bike. I don't do a lot of track, but it definitely gets hill climbed a lot. Gets thrown around, put in the trees, you know. This is 650, excuse a little dirty, dog's been, you know, digging holes back here, throwing dirt on my skis. But it's I believe this one's an 87 or an 88 650 SX that I did a fixed steer conversion on. It's got a mildly built 650 in it, pipes, carb, manifolds, milled head, you know, it's fun. There's a picture of this working here, my brackets and such, but it's fun ski, definitely a different ride. We got the little pit bike, riding that around. Memorial ski from my buddy that died. Gonna put it at the local ride spot and fill it with concrete so nobody can take it. But yeah. And then Old Faithful over here, rotting in the woods, in the weeds. She's heartless for the moment. Yeah, the motor sitting in the house. Downstairs room on the bench needs new seals. I'm probably gonna put new rings on it and get it going, but for now, there she sits. Kind of want to get this thing running. It's cold here in California. Water's nice and cold. So I'm not doing too much riding. I don't really feel like putting on the wetsuit just yet. Yeah, so my next issues are going to be figuring out a water box. Definitely not going to run a little Mariner water box like that. So water box setup, try and quiet this thing down a little bit. It looks like I can run the stock tank. However, I don't really have room for a battery. I have to figure out where the e-box is going to go on this piece of junka, and I'm kind of thinking about putting the e-box next to the battery in an aluminum fuel tank and kind of fabricating something at work that would incorporate the two, and that way I could have all my stuff in one central location. I kind of want it easy to pull if I ever need to pull this motor out real quick. But yeah, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna eat dinner and call it a day on this thing. So I'll update you guys the next time I pick up. So back on the build, we have first layer of patch is pretty dry. I use the orbital to buff off the hairs. Got it pretty smooth. I'm gonna put some filler on the top of that, some West Systems, and try and get it smooth. This patch is pretty ugly. Tried to get most of the bad glass out of there, but I didn't want to cut too far into this because of the baffling, so I'm gonna end up kind of patching over here, so it's gonna have a hump. But if I fill this whole corner, should be able to get it laid down pretty smooth. I'm gonna put, like, I don't know, this is 2 layers. I'll probably put 2 or 3 more layers over the top of this. I'm gonna have a little crack going on right here that I forgot to grind out. I might just hit that with a flat disc and fill it with some resin and some filler material. Just call it a day. But yeah, so that's as far as I got on the hood today. And I was gonna mill the manifold, but I think I'm just gonna cut the chamber and take it to work and weld it up real quick. I think that's probably the easiest solution. I mean, I mill this back, I start getting into these bolt holes. I can only mill this so far until I kind of start fucking with the water jacket, and I really don't want to get too crazy with it, so I think I'm just gonna fillet out the water jacket right here and weld a plate in a little closer. Just make sure I heat up that cast material real hot before I start welding on it with the spool gun. But yeah, it's getting dark. I don't think I have any more time to lay any more glass today, so I think from here I'm gonna pull the motor out and take it to work and see if I can make some brackets to just secure the motor down a little bit more. I know the 900 bed plate had 6 mounts, this one only has 4. I'm thinking of making some sort of U-bracket off of the rear 2 mounts to just kind of connect to the bed plate, the 750 SX bed plate that I'm running. And then maybe I can catch them on the motor mounts, and maybe I'll just weld them to the bed plate and make a little extension. I'm not sure yet, but I just kind of want to have that a little bit more secure. I plan on ripping the shit out of this ski, so I don't want it to be vibrating like a madhouse. I'm gonna make this one pretty reliable. I'm gonna do some more research tonight and get on the oh shit, I'm stuck. I got a extension cord wrapped around my foot. Okay, do a little bit more research and figure out what I'm gonna do to actuate the trim. But as far as the cable and everything, it's good to go. A lot of people have been asking about the Firebird in the background, all of these pictures and stuff that I've been posting, videos and whatnot. But basically it's a 68, it's a 400 car. It's got a mildly built 400 in it, a bunch of goodies on it from back in the day. Pretty clean interior. I'm trying not to fill it up with fiberglass shavings and such. But you know, it's she needs some love. Definitely not a show car or anything, but it's a straight car. It was originally a red car. It's had like 2 or 3 different paint jobs on it from back in the day. It's pretty straight. Everybody's like, "Oh, you put a Firebird fucking bird front end on your Camaro." It's a real Firebird. Those of you who know know, you know what this car is. But yeah, let's give you guys a little peek under the hood here, just because people want to know. Yeah, it's a 400 car. Big carb, double pumper, Elbrock intake. It's a little dirty in here. I need to wire in the Mallory, and get her running. Get her going good. It's good compression. It's getting fuel. All the fuel line, fuel system's gone through. Just got to get some ignition to it, set the timing and whatnot. Should be a runner, but been working on this thing. So this thing's gonna have to